Yuval Noah Harari.
Yuval Noah Harari.
Yuval Noah Harari.
Yuval Harari.
One of the most popular writers and thinkers on the planet.
Devotee of you, and as am I.
His books have sold more than 40 million copies in 65 languages, and he is considered one of the world's most influential intellectuals today.
He's a really strong thinker.
An enormously influential person.
Harari believes we may be on the brink of creating an entirely new kind of being, one that's far more intelligent than we are. It sounds like
science fiction.
Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
Why was it important for you to write a book for younger readers?
The main mission is really to change how people view the world.
How do you not understand this?
We wanted to really help them understand who they are. This is the biggest question maybe in the life of every kid. I mean, what am I? And the world is so complicated and sometimes frightening.
Humans are animals. It's one of the most controversial ideas in the world. For lots and lots of people, it's absolutely not. Humans are humans, animals are animals. There is a big gap in between. We are very, very similar to them. Humans are now hackable animals.
Oh, you see. How dumb are you?
We are not particularly cruel animals.
When you look at nature, you see predators and prey. It's no more wrong than a lion eating a gazelle.
We are not more cruel than, lions or alligators or whatever.
Which isn't wrong, it's just what happens.
We are just far more powerful. So we can do things that these other animals can't.
That's their worldview.
The central argument is that we've got a superpower that's allowed us to rule the planet. What is that, as human beings, what is that superpower?
Well, the superpower is our ability to invent and believe fictional stories, fairy tales,
which no other animal can do.
In the Stone Age, we had shamans who told us stories about spirits and ghosts, which we believed. And basically today, we have our own shamans, the lawyers and the bankers.
People think in stories. We are storytelling animals.
Basically just an imaginary story.
Science fiction. As long as everybody believes it works. This is why we rule the world, because we can invent these kind of strange stories. So it's a very important genre. It's very easy to make people afraid in the same way that it's easy to make us afraid of spiders and snakes. Because it's something very deep in us.
Never convince 1 million chimpanzees to come together to build a cathedral or to fight a war or to build a spaceship to the moon by convincing them in some story, in some mythology. But this is the way that we cooperate. And again, it's not just religious mythologies.
The chief value of science is power. Truth was never the highest priority of human society. They use truth to some extent on the way to achieving power or to achieving order. And science is mainly about gaining power over the world.
We are programmed to have deep fear. So again, this is the moment when we became both the most powerful animals in the world and also the most dangerous.
The world runs on large-scale scams. And the people who are in on it know it's a scam. It's an international, Masonic, socialist dictatorship, a scientism-based technocracy.
And people often speak about astronomy and, Copernicus and Galileo and all these planets. I mean, the sun is in the center, the earth is in the center. Who cares? How can you make money from that?
They lie.
How can you conquer territories from that?
Don't you see? How dumb are you?
But this was really a side issue. The big thing was geography. And this was like the first big project, successful project of modern science was mapping the world. And it was obvious to everybody that it's not being done out of sheer curiosity. It's being done in order to control and to conquer.
I'd like to be an explorer, like the great Magellan.
Oh, you're too late. There's really nothing left to explore.
Mapping the world was the first step to conquering it.
Came the rulers of this planet. Nobody else out there can stop us.
500 years of modern science, it was much more about gaining control than about anything else.
No matter what we achieve, it's never enough. We always want more.
Control over diseases, over the human body, over the environment.
And this is again this sense of being unstoppable.
We have the greatest storytellers in the world.
That makes us very dangerous. Science fiction is maybe the most important genre today.
And the amazing thing about it, it's only in our head. Millions of people cooperate because they all believe in the same story. It's probably the most successful story ever told. Again, it's just a fictional story we invented, exists only in our imagination.
Is there one story that unites all human beings? Is there anything that we all believe in that makes the world work?
I mean, the dinosaurs were destroyed by an asteroid that came from outer space and hit planet Earth.
And it's basically the only story everybody believes.
We have to still believe in this because we have to believe in something.
Science fiction can be very helpful in this.
And it's worked so successfully.
You know, this kind of colors our entire understanding of who we are.
This is why we control the world.
If you can't agree on the same rules, you can't play like this. Everybody needs to agree on the same rules.
You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will, that's over.
It's the most dangerous thing on the planet. Nobody notices that this is happening. By the time we realize this is the most dangerous thing on the planet, it's over. They are gone. And then there are no humans around because they are all dead.
The rats we should worry about.
Absolutely.
The rats will survive.
One of the things I've been shocked by is how easily people believe in conspiracy theories. Like, why do you think we as people are so vulnerable to misinformation?
You know, the truth is painful often, and the truth is complicated. Such a strange thing, a complicated thing to understand. It's much easier to believe that, you know, there is some group of billionaires in order to take over the world.
They lie and say that it doesn't exist. Can't you tell when people are lying to you, when they're gaslighting you? The system, the establishment gaslights you every day. The Malthusian ethos has never gone away. It's just been rebranded, and all of the tech elite, they all believe it. This is an open conspiracy.
One of the things you talk about in the book is that Homo sapiens may die out in kind of basically like 80 years, is what you say. In the next century or so, that we as Homo sapiens may cease to exist. Why is that, and who is replacing us?
Well, first of all, species disappear. 99% of species that once existed don't exist anymore. So species, including human species, disappear. I think it's very likely that in a century or two, Earth will be dominated by entities that are much more different from us than we are different from Neanderthals.
Okay, unless you are a 0.001% zillionaire bloodline family, you don't have part in this. Period. And you don't get a part in it because you go along with it. It's a delusion. It's this weird delusion. I'm part of this because I'm going along with it. No. It's to kill you too.
200 years, Earth might be dominated by the first inorganic creatures in the history of life. So, given the power of these technologies, I think there are just two options. Either we destroy ourselves in the process, or we upgrade ourselves into something we can't even imagine. We can't imagine it because even our imagination is the product of organic chemistry. And here we are talking about the emergence of entities which will not be subject to the laws of organic chemistry.
It's not inherently bad to think about improving human life or extending human life. Nothing wrong with any of that. That's not what these goals are for. They're not humanitarian goals. They're goals on the part of the elite to have those powers and then to get rid of everyone else because they're social Darwinists. Don't you understand? They're not interested in helping you. Okay, the people who say they want to kill you, newsflash, don't want to help you. They want to get rid of you. The whole modus operandi of the UN is this. Don't you understand it? This is not up for debate.
The main mission is really to change how people view the world.
Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
Mapping the world was the first step to conquering it.
We've seen what it looks like. when a society loses the ability to distinguish truth from fiction.
If people stop agreeing on the rules,
everything will collapse.